I'm Frank Seppi with NPC News Online, and I'm here with four-time Mr. Olympia, the gift, Phil Heath. Thank you for taking time for NPC.
Of course, yeah.
We're here in New York City for the Atlantic States, and Phil's gracious enough to answer a couple of questions, for your NPC fans out there. First thing, how's the Olympia prep going?
Well, we just got that started this week, so we're officially 15 weeks out. Who is that?
Who is that unprofessional person?
That ain't me. So anyway.
Wait, who is that unprofessional? You know you guys aren't supposed to do...
Oh, well, that's the boss.
Steve Weinberg.
Yeah. So we're at his show tonight, and, I just started my Olympia preparations this weekend. This will be my last on-stage appearance until the Olympia contest. So the next 15 weeks, I'll be very, very focused, obviously. Not as much travel, obviously, with Gifted Nutrition.
Right.
We got a lot of new stuff happening with the company, but unlike last year, we've done the work, in the off season, all the crazy travel schedules, so now I can solely focus on winning number 5.
The buzz now is Big Ramy. He just won the Brazil Arnold, and people are talking about him. Do you feel he's a threat?
I think what people have to recognize the fact that Ramy is amazing. He's done an incredible job in such a short period of time. And I remember even myself was able to do similar things, within my first couple years as a pro. And it took me quite a long time to actually, win the Olympia. Sure. And it's not as easy as what a lot of fans think. But fans are the ones that usually think in the now. And they forget that it takes a lot of time, to become that champion. So I hate to take away from his shine at the moment. I mean, he should be allowed to embrace the fact that he won such a good title. Mm-hmm. But for me, I have to recognize the fact that I'm going against everyone. Everyone in the world is going to be competing against me. Right. And I have to knock down a lot of great athletes. But I consider everyone as a threat that decides to put their name in, that has earned the right to be at the Olympic contest. So, bring them on. I'm ready.
It all comes down to, obviously, when you're standing next to you, too, and not just other shows. Now, this is, the 5th year in a row that Kai Green and you guys are going head-to-head. You're 4-0. This is the 5th. Is there anything that he can do to beat you this year? Do you think there's anything he can do? If you come at your best, he comes at his best, could he beat you?
No.
Don't hesitate.
No, because I think even his own fans know that at this point. I think a lot of new fans that come into the sport, they watch the movie Generation Iron, they'll read different blogs or whatever, and they draw their own opinions, but they fail to realize that this is a gentleman who has competed for a very long time. He's competed for well over 20 years, and a lot of people don't realize that at some point in time, you're now trying to chase your best. And nothing to take away from his work ethic, because I understand that he trains very, very hard.
Sure.
But at the same time, you got people, I think, fail to realize that I've beaten all their favorite guys at their prime. And I'm just now approaching mine at the age of 35. So as long as I do my job, I put myself in a great position to win. And even with last year, I consider myself last year at 85%. So if I can be at my best, like you said, I don't even think any of us know what I'll look like each year. Mm-hmm. So unlike the others, from top to bottom, as far as even guys like Dexter Jackson, we all have an idea as to who is going to look like what because of them, reaching that peak and kind of trying to stay there. But, I just have to do my job ultimately.
So, fans are always talking, this guy's going to beat this guy, this guy's going to beat this guy. Let's say everybody does come in their top shape. You got Sean Roden, you got Big Ramy, you got Kai, you got yourself. Mm-hmm. Genetically, you know how everybody is.
Of course.
How do you see that going top 5? Dexter?
I actually think Dexter puts himself in a great position this year after winning not just the Arnold Columbus, but missing his flight because of his visa issue, and then basically taking, 19 hours?
Sure, yeah.
Coming off a flight and beating everyone at the Arnold Australia. I mean, if anyone has a chance, it's him. And I think that his name hasn't even been chatted about because they're so wrapped around a new guy. And I think all of them have a chance. I can't really think of who's going to be second, third, fourth, or fifth at this point because until we stand there, I just don't know. I'll be honest, guys. I'm going to look right into you. I mean, I appreciate you guys watching this, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I cannot care about who's going to be second, third, and fourth, and fifth. I have to be focused on what I have to do in order to be at my best. And the best man will win that night, Both nights are going to count. I'm training for that, and I think my sense of urgency this year is far greater than any other year because I kind of have an understanding of, in sports, 5 titles create a dynasty. That alone will kind of slap the living out of people and understand that if you've considered me not winning before 2010, 2011, now you're going to watch me win my 5th, and then you'll have even more to say that next year. So it's the same thing over and over again. We've heard about Big Ramy for the past 3 years. We've seen him improve. We've heard the same thing about Kai. Kai hasn't scored a point on me since 2010 Arnold. But people fail to realize that. And it's just because they're smoking this drug called hopium. There's a drug that you guys smoke called hopium. And the fact that I'm looking at you right now lets you know that I'm not playing around. I'm going to be training my ass off. I'm going to be doing everything I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to enjoy whipping everyone's ass this year. And I'm not talking trash. It's just stating the fact.
So now, today, you have no injuries. You're injury free.
I'm beautiful right now. I'm very. And when I say beautiful, it's the fact that in order to win 4 in a row, it takes a lot of effort to be able to do that. And even my best friend Jay didn't do 4 in a row.
Right.
And so therefore, it's very, very difficult going against all these guys who I respect. But I have to be real with myself. Am I having fun? And I think this year I had to remind myself. Last year I was like, Phil, you didn't really have a whole lot of fun because you put too much stress on yourself. Coming out with a new company, doing this and that and the other. Can you have some fun in that gym? Can you have some fun with the fans when you go meet them and stuff like that? And I thought, you know what? When I first got into sport, I remember being interviewed like you, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. Everything's great, great, great. And then it becoming a business and the grind of the travel and this and that, it wears you down. I was able to just center myself around some good people and recognize the fact that in order for me to get more titles and be the best, I have to love what I do. So I have the best. Supposedly everybody feels like Phil Heath has the greatest lifestyle known to man. It's because it was earned, not given. And it's because of that I'm going to try to improve every day, every week, every month, every year, so that I can look back and say I had no regrets because I'm going to retire in the year 2020. I promised myself that means that there's 4-5 more shows left.
Sure.
I have to take every workout with a greater sense of urgency and have fun.
Do you think because you're so successful in this sport and in other businesses, do you think it rubs people the wrong way if you put up a post like, I have this car or I have that? Do you think that's why fans sometimes they gravitate more towards Kai because he's more of the underdog and they can't relate in that sense? Like you put up a $500 pair of sneakers and somebody's like, oh, that's Phil showing off or this or that. Do you feel like, that maybe that's why a lot of people look at Kai and they're like, oh, well, I want him to win? Or is it just because you've been on the top for such a long time that they want somebody new, to win?
It can be whatever they want it to be, I guess. When you're a kid, your parents want the best from you.
Sure.
Your parents would say, oh, my kid wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, police officer, whatever it is. A lot of parents push their kids to be successful. I'm just showing you that I can do it and I can have fun. If someone's going to freak out over a pair of sneakers, then that means that they have way too much time on their hands and they should go find some success themselves. It's really honest. They should really concern themselves about how they can better themselves instead of worrying about someone else that's doing it big. If that's the case, they should get mad at their boss at their work, who is a CEO, is a president, that has a nice suit that probably, for what they know, may cost $500 or $5,000. They should get mad at the guy at the nightclub that actually opens up a bottle of wine or a bottle of champagne. They should be mad at him too, right? So if I want to post something, that's because I worked for it. Maybe it's because I want to prove to people that they can do it too. Have they not thought about that? Maybe I'm trying to inspire you guys into realizing that it's achievable. When a lot of you guys want to compete, whether it be men's physique or men's bodybuilding, a lot of your friends and family are going to say, can you make money in that? And that's the first thing they say. So I'm showing you that you can make money in this. And look, like, wow, can he buy a nice house for his mom? Can he buy a nice car and this and that? I've showed you that you can do this. So I'm trying to inspire you, not like brag. Like if it was bragging, I'd be like, hey man, look at my shoes, look at this, I'm not doing that. I'm reminding you subliminally that it is possible, just like I'm trying to tell you with my physique, it is possible to improve.
People don't realize how difficult it is, obviously, to run a business. They just see the glitz and the glamour of it. How are you going to find the time to train for the Olympia, the top championship in the world, when you have gifted on a day-to-day basis? And I know you're involved in every aspect of the company. Yeah. So how do you find time, and how do mentally stay focused?
I think after last year's Olympia, I was able to learn from some mistakes that we made as a company, as a group, and me individually, both in the office and on stage in the gym. Now I'm what I did in my off season was this. I recognized the fact that the first 7 months of 2015, I was gonna have to really bust my ass and get all those deals done. So then my team will be able to carry the baton for the remainder of the race, of that particular race. So now I get to run my show and focus on my craft. So it's all about surrounding yourselves with positive people that are obviously with a certain skill set. Sometimes, we had to trim some fat, literally within the office. Yeah. And that's something that, thank God, I actually went to a great business school and understanding those processes and creating that environment so then they can succeed and they're going to be busting their ass because they know that, okay, Phil helped us get to this point. Let's take it from here so he can focus on winning number 5. So our company understands that without Phil doing his thing, we have a greater battle, greater climb. Mm-hmm. So let's work together. And they're up all hours of the night. If I'm up, at 5 a.m., they probably haven't even gone to sleep. Some of these guys working on social media marketing, working with different distributors internationally, making sure that our domestic and international lines, working with bodybuilding.com, like doing all these different things to make sure that when I win number 5, they're already ready to market and do their job. So it's a beautiful thing because I get to realize that not even Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Ronnie Coleman, even Jay, no one has done it while they've been champion. And it lets you guys know that it can be possible for you to go to school, to get a degree, use that degree within bodybuilding. So when I walk down the street, no one's going to say that, oh, this guy's dumb as a box of rocks. It's like, how so when I was on Bloomberg?
I was there.
Yeah.
Now, one of your best moves, I think, for the business was getting Janet Leung, who you predicted that is going to win the Olympia.
Absolutely. Janet has been a super bright star in our company. I mean, who doesn't love this woman? I mean, she's so cool. She's like so humbled. And she's one of the girls that's just happy to be there. But yet on stage, she makes every girl on that stage nervous. And I love that competitive spirit that she exudes on the stage. After watching her win in Australia, she was so nervous, and she beat Miss Olympia. She beat her. And I don't think anyone really had any, qualms about her winning. I think people really felt like everybody has to bring their A game with her, and it's just a pleasure to have her on board. She's very excited. We are expecting her to win. I told her straight up, I said, I want to share the stage with you after I win. With the titles in hand. No company is going to be able to do that. No one's going to be able to help push her because, if anything, I want her to win just as much as me. And it's just because of the fact that her friends, her family, they love her. We love her. We just want her to stay confident, train hard, train smart, of course, have fun.
So, into the camera, your prediction for the Bikini Olympia?
Oh, Janet all day. Sorry, ladies. Sorry. She's great. I mean,
so take it back to the Olympia. How many weeks out are you right now?
15.
15 weeks out. And are you ahead of the game right now than you were previously, or just?
Yeah. So yesterday over at Bed Francis, I went over there to go train some delts, and I weighed in at 270 pounds, which was about 15 pounds up from last year at this particular time. I don't know how I'm doing it. I just realized that maybe it's because I have less stress in my life, being able to use better time management, not having the stress of a brand new company, stuff like that. I do think that all of that plays a role in conjunction with the muscle maturity. That's something that no one has really chatted about for me since I started bodybuilding, but that's what's happening now. So I'm just being more open about my purpose-driven lifestyle and having more method to my madness. So I'm excited about it because I think about 10 weeks out, I'll probably be about 280. And that's going to be crazy because I've never been that heavy. And look, I mean, I'm not fat, so it's like It's not going to go that way. And I understand everybody else's mentality is probably like, oh, well, this guy weighs 280 pounds or 300 pounds. For me, it's like, guys, it really hasn't yielded the result that you would hope that they. And that's why I keep saying the hopium is very, very apparent. So I have to realize that you have this starting point. Be smart. Don't get injured doing something stupid. And just enjoy the process.
In your opinion, out of the 4 Olympias that you did do, what was the best package What year did you feel like you came in the best?
2013 all day. 2013 all day. I think that was the one that I gave them the uppercut from hell. I think that one, I think the judges even were shocked, and that's why they had me come out one time, and then they brought me out a second time. They're like, no, Phil, go back. And that was a real, I was freaked out because I've never seen that. And for it to I mean, here I'm stuttering because I'm like, that was crazy.
We were backstage for that show, and I remember when you first went on, actually J.M. Mannion came up to us, he said, I got shivers. He said, because that was the condition and the shape you were in. It was like you came out, it was lights out.
Yeah.
Last year, it was kind of.
It was not the same.
You still won, legitimately, but it was.
It was not the same. I mean, I'm a man. I can say, look, guys, like if 100% was 2013, it was 80% last year. I'll give you some math. I'm honest about my stage weight. 248 pounds is what I weighed at the 2013 Mr. Olympia. 248. 241 pounds is what I weighed last year, but yet I still look bigger, but not better. So, you know, I was obviously off. So I was able to correct those things. That's the great thing about having a nutritionist, you know, on staff with Hani Rambod. You know, he and I were able to fix things from Friday to Saturday and then assess the off season correctly. And now we're probably going to have an even better time because we realize, wow, like even at your worst, like you have the opportunity to still win. Some guys, they place 100%. They can't even come close. So it doesn't mean that I rest. It means that I'm never going to let that shit happen again, and I'm just going to have fun with this and make sure that my due diligence is well done.
How would you address the comments that Arnold Schwarzenegger made at the Arnold about the, you know, bodybuilders having big waists and so on?
I think what the new fan did was attach themselves to that comment way more than the people that have been in it a long time. This is nothing new. He said something that our president, you know, I mean, come on, like Jim Mannion used to talk about this the whole 10 years I've been pro, we've been talking about this issue. The one thing I have to address to Arnold and everybody else, who won the show? Dexter Jackson won the show. So Dexter Jackson was the epitome of aesthetics and all these other things, but yet if you don't like how someone looks, don't invite them to your show. And it's just the way it is. So next year, maybe it's smart that if I were doing it, I would say 6 weeks out, 3 weeks out, you're going to send your invitation again, and you're going to send some photos that is going to go to some people, that is going to be a close-knit group, selected group that he selects that says, if this guy has distension already, I don't want him at my show because that's my product. And I don't blame him for being upset. But you're inviting them to your party. I'm not going to invite them to my party. It's not like the Olympia. I mean, you had to earn your way, and if they mess up the prep, that's on them. But this is an invitational, so I advise those people who run the show to remind these athletes, like, hey, you're not looking right.
You know, it's like who won the last 4 Olympias?
Right.
And, you know, in your structure, you're not somebody who's known for having a big waist.
That doesn't apply to me. So.
No, I know.
Yeah,
and who's won the Arnold the most times?
Right, Dexter. So
he's known as one of the smallest waists in the
I'm not here to like throw shade on
true.
but I think at the same time, you guys have to understand, like, when someone of that magnitude, Arnold Schwarzenegger has done a great job for our industry, bar none. But what you guys have to understand, what he means is he doesn't want the other guys that are placing lower do that again because that is his product, right? So he's trying to protect the brand, of course. But if he were to say Mr. Olympia or Arnold Classic Champion came in this, that, and the other, then it's a problem. But I mean, come on, like all of the judges, I think, got it right at the Arnold Classic. I think they get it right at the Olympia as well. They're doing their job. They're marking down the guys who came in. I'm not even gonna throw names out there. Y'all know, like the guys that came in with the distension did not place well. So all that stuff does not really apply. So you guys got to stop with this whole like who's aesthetic, who's not, because the guys who are winning already have it. It's the guys that don't get on their ass on their social and say, hey man, you placed 7th, 8th, 9th. I want you to be in top 3. Get your gut right. Get this right. But I mean, come on, you talking about the top 3 guys in the world saying us to get it right. We're already top 3.
Yeah.
Talk to these guys. They're the majority, actually. They're the guys trying to come up. Tell these young cats that are trying to get up there. The same young cats that they were talking about how they're going to do something had distension too. So it's not the top guys. It's the young dudes. It's the some seasoned veterans as well that should know better. Don't bring that package. But ultimately, it's an invitational show. don't bring their ass to your party if you don't want them looking like that. And that's coming from Mr. Olympia, because I don't want to see a bad product either, because it obviously affects us all.
Will you ever compete at the Arnold? If you're invited.
That's what I was going to say. I haven't been invited. I haven't been invited. You guys, if you want me to do it, if you guys want me to do it, seriously, there's a couple things that have to take place, and they're going to say, oh, it's the
More
money.
prize money.
I'm going to ask you guys a simple question. Would you do the same 40-hour job or a 50-hour job for less money? So you have to think, like when I get ready for the Mr. Olympia contest, it's taking me 15 weeks to do Olympia. I'm going to win that prize money, right? Within 6 weeks, I have to do tours. No time for nothing. Then in December, I have to get right back on it and go do it for half the money. I don't know if you would work 40 hours a week for half the wage. So in order for someone to make sense for that to me, to take time away also from my company,
right,
they would really have to throw me a bone here. So I would love to do it. I did it in 2013 because I wanted to beat those same guys that won't do the Columbus show, because Kai hasn't done it, and I did the Spain show to beat him again, you know, and all those guys. Roden didn't do it this year, so I beat those guys at an Arnold Classic. So, I mean, Ramy hasn't even done the Columbus. So a lot of guys still have to do it, and I'm not trying to deflect.
Sure.
I will do the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic if there's certain conditions that would be met. I'm not bigger than the industry by no means, but I have to make it worthwhile for myself as well.
It's your opinion, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, because, I mean, if I don't come in right, you know, they're going to say, well...
Gunther beat Ronnie Coleman at the Europa show.
If I don't come in even better than the Olympia without any rest and don't look the same, you guys are going to say that I was off and I shouldn't have deserved it. So, yet, I was still better than them. So, it's kind of like... You
got more to lose than win.
There's more to lose than gain. Yeah. So they have to make it to where I gain something. And I don't really expect people to understand that mentality because they're not walking this life. But I'm trying to illustrate it to you as well as I can to give you perspective as to why it makes sense on paper.
Now, are you going to have any of your workouts or messages to the fans on your Instagram, or where can they see your day-to-day stuff?
Yeah, so obviously, you know, they can go on my website, philipheath.com, and then from there you can also select any of the social media icons on the upper right-hand corner. That will give you the verified account. First of all, I want to make sure you go to the right place. Second, I'm also coming out with a mobile app that will also have video content that I've never shown. I normally never show you guys anything. And I'm expecting you guys to kind of, you know, hit us up, not just Gifted Nutrition, but also me online, and let me know, hey, we want to see this out. We want to see what's going on. It's all about engagement at this point. If you guys don't say anything, I will not do anything. I'll just sit back and relax. If you guys are like, hey, Phil, we want to see what you're eating today. We want to see you training. We want to see you driving to the gym. We want to see all these cool things. When I post it, like, for instance, yesterday I posted a video on Instagram, 15 seconds. I've got 780,000 followers on Instagram. Only less than 20,000 people like it within a day. Why? That means that it's going to all those people, and they're unique visitors because I know that it's not a fake account.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I have real followers, and yet all they're doing is viewing it, and they're not hitting the like button. How am I supposed to know if you like it or not? Why would I do more? So if you do more, I promise I will do more.
Well, we discussed this at the Pittsburgh Pro, that you kind of don't want to release any pictures before the Olympia because it takes away from kind of that aura and mystique of what kind of shape and condition you're on, even though people use all the filters and Photoshop.
Oh, absolutely.
But, you know.
Absolutely. I think we've seen that a lot in this industry. I mean, we got guys that look like King Kong Coleman and then look like a guy
big difference.
A guy that couldn't win the Backyard Barbecue Classic. So I think for me, I'm going to give out certain types of content. Will it be with my shirt off and this and that? Probably not. But it's still going to talk about different training techniques and me eating and me, you know, my perspective and my thought process. I'm trying to open up and give you guys a little bit more of me as long as you guys are willing to participate. If ththey're not, it's a trial and error. Like, if it doesn't, it's never going to take away from the mystique factor, for sure. It's just going to get them I'm going to be teasing you guys, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
We always get emails through NPC News Online about what does this top pro do to get in shape? What does this top pro to do to eat? What does he eat? How does he train? Would you ever think about coming out with an ebook?
Oh, we've already done it. So we've already done it. We're just in the marketing stages right now.
Okay.
Obviously, you can come out with all this content, but if you don't want to market it well, it's not going to have any push.
Yeah.
And it's going to sit there, and people are going to like, oh yeah, this was cool. We needed to have a bigger punch. So Gifted Nutrition, we've already done one for myself and some of our other athletes as well. So we'll have that available soon.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I always appreciate you taking the time and being 100% honest.
Yeah.
With everyone.
You guys love it, right? If you guys love it, I'll come back. These guys, I've been knowing Frank for a long time. That's why he gets the 100 real talk from me.
The real scoop.
But be sure to go on NPC News Online for all your information pertaining to all the amateur contests nationwide. And be sure to go on philipheath.com, also giftednutrition.com for more details as where I'm going to be on tour throughout the remaining of the year, in addition to updates of where I'm training, what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, what I'm doing, who I want to kill, like everything, And lastly, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your ongoing support. Be sure, and I'm going to say this real fast, be sure before you start any of these training programs, I know a lot of you guys getting ready for summer, be sure to get your blood work checked. Actually go out and get a real physical done. There's a lot of places in your areas, in your cities that do it for free. You just have to go out there and know what you're up against. That's my whole purpose behind this message. Know what you're up against, guys. If you have an aching pain and this and that and you have insurance, get an MRI done. Know what you're up against so we train hard, we train smarter, and we have fun and we look gifted. All right? Thank you.
All right. Frank Seppi and 4-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath for NPC News Online. Thank you, Phil.
Yep.